Okay, and lesson 3 is about finding a missing angle. So normally to find a missing angle, you just take the other two angles and add them up and subtract from 1 and e to get it. But again, you can't do that trick here because you don't know this angle. So that's why you have trigonometry to figure those things out. So the steps for this are going to start out the same as the other one. We still have to label what they gave us so that we can pick whether we're going to do sine, cosine, or tangent. Okay, because this time they're asking what is that angle? And we have the two sides. So don't use the Pythagorean theorem. We don't care about what that side is. We're getting an angle. All right, so let's label what we have according to wherever the x is. So we're using this angle. And we said that if the 17 is all the way on the other side, then it is the opposite. So we know we're either going to be sine or tangent. And then 28, this is the adjacent side, okay? There's the 90 degree, so that means that the 28 is on the hypotenuse. So 17 is the opposite, 28 is the hypotenuse. Now we know that we're picking this one, because that's the only one that has an O and an H in it. All right, step 3 is the same too. You have to plug everything in where it goes, except this time you're going to have an X in a different spot. So we picked sine. The X goes in the angle spot, because we said the degrees is always with the sine, cosine, or tangent. The 17 has to go on the top, because that's the rule. And 28 is on the bottom. Okay, so this time you cannot cross multiply and divide. That's not going to get you your final answer. I mean, you can if you want, 17 times 1 divided by 28, but that's not going to be helpful. To find an angle, you have to hit the second button, right here, at the top left of your calculator, or on the Desmos calculator, it'll say like sine with a -1 on it. You have to hit that button. I'm writing that somewhere really big. What's in pink? You must hit sine with a -1 on it. Put that in your notes somewhere, make a big cloud over it. To find an angle, you hit that button instead of the regular sine button. And it will like undo the sine and get the x by itself. And then you just put 17 over 28 right in there. Okay? So whenever you do if you do sine of 30, it'll say 0.5. So to go backwards, you would hit second sine and get it. I hope that makes sense. You can see second sine, 17 over 28, or divided by 28. Probably divide and not fraction. I bet the ABC button won't work. And you should get 37.3. Okay? So if you have the degree, you hit a normal sine. If you don't have the degree, or if you have the angle, you hit the normal sine yesterday. If you don't have the angle, you're hitting second sine. All right, let's go through that again. So we're going to do 3 of these because I'm going to do 1 with sine, 1 with cosine, 1 with tangent. Okay, step 1, label. Label according to the x. The 6.2 is the adjacent side. The 7.4 is the hypotenuse. So if we have A and H, we are going to pick ka. Ew. Cosine. And now we plug in everything where it goes. The x is the angle, so it goes next to cosine. The 6.2 is the adjacent, so it has to go on the top. The 7.4 is the hypotenuse, it goes on the bottom. Okay, we don't need to cross multiply in this one. Again, we're hitting second cosine, or inverse cosine, or wherever that button is on the Desmos calculator. And you put 6.2 divided by 7.4 parentheses. Second cosine 6.2 divided by 7.4. 33 degrees. Usually they don't have you round an angle to like a tenth or something. All right, again, because watching something 3 times, hopefully you learn a little different thing each time, and by the end you're like, okay, this is so easy. All right, how do we find x? Oh, it's not an x, it's whatever that is. That's called a theta symbol. It's a Greek alphabet letter. Basically, they can call this whatever they want. They decided to call it theta. Okay, we don't care. All we care about is that that is the angle that's marked, so that's the angle we're going to label with. Okay. So if the angle is up here, then 60 is the adjacent. And if the 88 is on this longest side that's across from the 90, it's the hypotenuse. So AH goes with ka. Wait, didn't we just use ka? I was trying to do one of each. Opposite hypotenuse. Oh, adjacent hypotenuse. Okay, it's cosine again, who cares? Cosine, because of ka. All right, this little thing goes here. The 60 has to go on the top. That's the rule. The 88 goes on the bottom. And again, when you don't know the angle, you're hitting the second button. Second cosine, whatever this hideous thing is, you're putting that whole thing in the parentheses. And for people that are really trying to understand this, like people trying to go to honors, think of this as like if you're solving for this, you have to get rid of this. And whenever you get rid of something, you do the inverse operation. Well, this is an inverse symbol. So the inverse cosine gets rid of the cosine to solve. Second cosine, 60 divided by 88. And it's 47 degrees. All right, we'll practice this for a few days. Come to Zoom if you need help. Good luck.